moving on to the next stakeholder, we want to look at next gens. We don't necessarily mean the next gen that is in their mid 40s or 50s and has all of the career experience ready to be the new leader of the company. We want to look at the next gens that are more maybe say 25 years old to 30 years old that have a lot of career ahead of them. They're not going to be considered as the next CEO of your family company, but they have your last name and everyone in your business knows who they are. Jim, can you reflect on how those people can influence an executive search and succession planning process?
Yes, the tangled web that we all face in that scenario. Because typically that issue happens not because of that next gen, because of that next gen's uncle or mother or father, who is, in a sense, pulling the strings and saying, why isn't Johnny being considered for this? And why isn't he getting this horsepower? So suddenly you have this case where a person's hired to do a job and they're really only holding a position for the younger person in the organization, waiting for that person to come along and take the job. More often than I'd like to admit, we find that once that new person is hired, that next gen is more ready than the preceding generation thought they were. And therefore, the transition isn't as effective as it should be because there's a ready and waiting person there that's only a few years away, and that's never built into the process. Now, take that the other way. If it is built into the process, the person that hires understands that what they're there for is to be a mentor. And that's a great scenario if they understand that, if they understand that their clock maybe has 5 years rather than 15. If that isn't understood coming in, you're being unfair to everybody in the process and sometimes causing tremendous tangled web conflict that won't go away.
Yeah. One of the things that we discuss with families when you have family member employees in the business that's an important but sometimes unfortunate reality to understand is that when your family owns a company and you work in that company, even if you are very young, it's important to understand that you're living in a glass house. Everyone in the business knows who the family is, and they are watching how the family behaves. And if you have a young family member that is talking to folks at the water cooler about the decisions that people high up in the org chart are making, that's not some intern. That's not some new hire that you got out straight out of college. That's not some middle manager. That's the family speaking. Every single family member is the voice of the family. And when the family dissents towards decisions that are being made, the culture of the business hears that. And that begins the undermining process of the decisions that are being made by other people, sometimes the seniors of the family themselves. And if those people aren't considered in the process, when you go into an executive search process, you meet with a 25-year-old family member. And part of that educates the 25-year-old family member about the fact that they have a powerful voice that their peers that are in their level of the org don't have. It also makes that 25-year-old feel respected and included in a process. And the third point is it educates them on how senior executive processes are managed. And so that they get educated on how to be a informed owner and stakeholder in the future. Wondering if your family or perhaps one of your clients, if you're not a family business yourself, but you work with families, is ready to address succession planning, you can visit our website for all sorts of free resources, including a readiness assessment, as well as an ebook about hiring non-family executives and a wealth of perspective that can help you explore your own journey in succession planning in your family company.